Hi everyone, welcome in. Like the stream. Paid readings are open. Let me know if you guys don't Hey AJ, how was work? That's good. I know. I feel like I've had a real chill day today too. Thank God, because some days could just be pretty crazy. I feel like today kind of just flew by. You see? Yeah, it's there. Um, that's how you test your powers, but also have fun with it. Um, my man, he hasn't posted because I haven't posted. Mm-hmm. Exactly, I do. I'm over here watching Canelo and Terrence Crawford's Grand Arrivals. All right, IG, let me know. Hi, Sky. Blessings. How are you? Make sure you guys like the stream when you come in. Paid readings are over. Are over. Paid readings are open. There are no free readings, guys. Just FYI. IJ, you can post your question. That's funny, IJ. No, you're good with the language. It's the language was more my thing for me. All right, let's see. How has the missus been feeling about things between us lately? How has she been about things between her and IJ lately? How is things between her and IJ lately? All right, I got the Death card. The Queen of Swords. I'm getting like a real steady energy from her. I feel like with the Fool, the Death card, and the Queen of Swords, how I can put it is like she is being. For me, the Queen of Swords can be. She's not showing up as head over heart, but the Queen of Swords can be that way, where I feel like she's just letting things flow the way they need to flow. With the Fool, to me, that's the energy I'm getting. She's like looking towards this new beginning, but in a very like carefree, like I just don't want to worry, because I feel like if she starts to like focus too much on like her emotions, or like even her logic, she tends to kind of like freeze up, and that's what she's not wanting to do. I feel like she is setting boundaries across the board with like, this could be with like I want to say like her own thoughts that come up, like, or her own like fears that could be coming up. I feel like she definitely has that sword up, and she's like, nope, I'm setting boundaries. We're not doing that. You know, the death card is all about something, a cycle ending and a new one beginning. So I feel like she's focusing on that new cycle that's beginning between you guys. So feeling very good. Show me more. Show me more. The Queen of Wands. The King of Swords. I'm not gonna take these as too many, but I got the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. But show me, Spirit. So yeah, I feel like her energy is focused on like what's next. Where's like the future? Where is it gonna come? Um, that's too much, Spirit. I just need one more card, and then I'll clarify if I need to. The Magician. Yeah, see, like I feel like, so I feel like she's feeling good, IJ. She's feeling confident about things. I do feel like she's feeling like you guys are a perfect match. I feel like she is with the Queen of Wands being here, you know, she's very secure. She's very you know, she's focused on like her vision, and like, you know, she feels like she can have, well, not feels, the Queen of Wands knows that she can have whatever she wants, but she also can make people do whatever she wants. And I feel like she's kind of showing up and feeling very confident about the connection, but not just the connection, but confident about you as a person, you as a human, you as a man, you as being her match. The Magician is showing up here, so I do feel like she knows that more communication should start happening soon. She could definitely be focusing on trying to create other avenues of like communication with you and her, like feeling very much in her power. But you're also the one that's showing up in your power. So I feel like she sees you as definitely a person that had like a man with power, with leadership qualities, yeah, like someone she can have a family with. So that I feel like, again, like I'm getting, for some reason today, I feel like she could have been thinking about like, what does marriage look like for you guys? Like, what does marriage look like for her and you together? Yeah, look, the Lovers. I'm telling you, I think today she was focused on marriage and not trying to be too, again, emotional, and more so just letting the energy flow is what I'm getting from her. She's just trying to let the energy flow, because I feel like when she tries to push things, she becomes, again, like overwhelmed is what I'm getting. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. I'm seeing her being focused on the future, like, yeah, marriage. So this is showing me like her emotions towards you are that like they're there. Like I'm getting very much emotional fulfillment, but just trying to keep them, not trying to show just yet. Like she's still in that energy of like, I'm moving, but I'm gonna move steady. I'm gonna make subtle I want to say subtle advances. That's what I feel like she's seeing. Yeah, you see, yeah, because you remember, you guys are in the same consciousness. We all are, but when you're in, like in a connection with someone like that, it is way deeper. Like, you see what be happening with me and this guy. Like, it's almost fucking crazy. I've heard people tell me synchronicities and stuff. I mean, I've seen it. I've heard it. I've witnessed synchronicities myself. But that right there, like where I will think something and I'm not even telling anyone, and he posted, like that's just to show you, like we're in the same, we're already aligned. So we're in alignment. Hi Anila, how are you? So yeah, that's, and I've always told y'all that about, like, I've been preaching this for years since I started my channel. I've always said your person is, and you are literally connected in one consciousness. How they're acting towards you is more so like a reflection of the scripts that you've created for your own life. So like if you're, you know, someone that has had, that's why people will say like focus on like those core beliefs, because if you're someone who's been ghosted so many times, 9 times out of 10, like, you are going to create some type of ghosting in your future. I'm just using that as an example. So yeah, you guys are definitely like your energies are definitely intertwined. And yours too, yours, I feel like yours is very specific too, because for the sister to follow you and then the stepbrother pops up and like people you may know, like, that's the kind of shit you can't fucking make up. You're welcome, IJ, my bad. Um yeah, that's what I have. It feels good. I feel like it's a very steady energy. It's very calm, IJ, which is good. And I have been saying that. I felt like her energy was so calm. But you know what? This is why I be saying, like, law of assumption, the community can be a little toxic, because they'll be like, you don't need to feel calm. Yeah, you don't. But the more calm you are, the better the results and the faster the results come in. I know that because I've seen it, not just with myself, but with other people. But law of assumption, a lot of these people are like, no, it's whatever you assume. No, you dumbass. The whole law of assumption thing is, whatever you're telling yourself is true. That's what law of assumption is. But outside of that, you have a fucking human body. You have a fucking human body that, gets upset. You have a human body that, stresses, that overthinks. Like, you think that's not gonna affect your fucking manifestations? Of course it is. Because if you're fucking, my thing is this, and this is, if you're constantly in anxiety, what does anxiety mean? Right? Anxiety to me is worry, is your, like, people, like, I think of someone that's pacing back and forth and not able to think straight, right? That's what I think, how I feel, how I've experienced anxiety, right? How can you fucking affirm through that? Like, can you? Yeah, but it's a little harder. So yes, there are certain things that can affect you. Do feelings manifest? No, unless you give it a meaning. But, again, it's nothing wrong with like doing certain things to keep yourself calm. And I feel she leans into that. That's what I'm saying. But it's not even that, IJ, is because you're calm, and you can look at it that way. But I know like, once you're more in this, like, you're gonna change that language. I know I did. Like, the more, like, because you're so calm, your person is just mirroring back, right? So because you're one consciousness, you're literally one person. I mean, we've been hearing that stuff for years. Like, you and your person are one person. I remember my guy best friend, um when he proposed to his wife, he literally told her, he's like, it's like, I feel like we have just one, we have two different brains. We think for ourselves, but it's like, it's together, it's one brain. And I remember him telling me that, but I couldn't really understand him until now. Like, recent, not now, but like in the last like 2 years, I was like, oh, that's what it is. Yeah, like, she's reflecting back to you your dominant state. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's reflecting your dominant state. So now she's openly seeing stuff. And you also post frequently. So, you know, obviously she's seeing stuff, right? But that's what I'm saying. She's just reflecting back to you your dominant state. And because remember, everyone is you pushed out. So you've given her you've given her a script, and now she's following her role. But yeah, when people be like, oh, but law of assumption is the whatever you assume. Listen, I don't knock nobody, but I know what the fuck I be talking about. That's why I've been telling y'all to do focus affirming. Why? You could do robotic affirming, but that's a passive way. That's passive. It's like if you're learning, I always say the ABCs, right? We didn't learn the ABCs by just hearing them in the background, right? We didn't learn the ABCs by just saying it, at random. We learned it because we had to pay attention. We had to have some type of focus on it. Why are so many of my clients seeing results? And they've been, like the one girl that was doing robotic affirming for a little over 2 years, no fucking movement. She started doing focus affirming movement in less than a month. And not just with her person, like they were together, but the man kept saying he did not want marriage. And now that's all he talks about. I mean, they got engaged. Like, I know what the heck I be saying. And I'm not saying that robotic affirming doesn't work. Any form of repetition, but again, that's a passive way of affirming. Why not just why that for me, that's prolonging things. You're taking out more time to passively affirm when you can just focus affirm and just impress the subconscious immediately. That's why even too when for me I tell people like if you can visualize, do it, because your subconscious mind picks up on pictures, images. And that's how if I say pink elephant, everybody's gonna have a pink elephant in their head. Yeah, that is right, IG. Yeah. Yeah, why that's my thing. I literally today I only did one full session. I did like another one full session and then one like half session. It was just like a busy. It wasn't like a crazy busy, but I just kept getting calls and doing this and doing that. But then tonight I'll just, focus affirm. But then tomorrow my schedule is doing 3 sessions. And I noticed in July, as soon as I started getting back in that routine of focus affirming, bruh, literally that fucking weekend I had a dream. Then what? Let me see. Hi to anyone that's in here. If you guys are gonna donate, do so soon. I will probably get off because it's kind of quiet in here. And don't just be watching us because I don't got no free information for y'all. um, and what was the thing that happened the following week that we were like, what the fuck? Um, oh my god, the whole fasting thing was probably like a week or so after that. I know there was a few things that all happened within like as soon as I started focus affirming again. I know what I've seen results and what I haven't, and I know what I've researched. And no one said robotic affirming doesn't work, but it's a passive way of doing things. It just is what it is. And my thing is if you really want something, you're gonna do what you gotta do. Like I had the one girl where she was just like, well, I can't do it, and I can't, and like everything she could, like, and I finally told her, I was like, yeah, well then, I mean, there's nothing I can do to help you. Like, if you're not willing to do this, you're not willing to do that, you're not willing to try this, and you're not, then, I mean, I don't got shit for you. I can't believe the other day I got that visual of that picture. That picture came alive. I was like, what the fuck? I need to get some sleep at this point. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, I still have some stuff to send out to you guys. I wasn't done with the questions. I mean, I wasn't going to do it like that, but then I was like, fuck it. But yeah, because you know what? I feel like that's something that people, again, they'll tell people, just keep affirming, right? But sometimes you want to understand, why am I affirming? And yeah, maybe I'm seeing some movement, but I'm not seeing, to me, movement is good. Movement is good. Obviously, you want that because things have to unfold a certain way. But the ultimate goal is the end goal. So it's like, if this person can get their end goal the next day, what's causing me for it to have to go through like certain steps? So that's where I was trying to go with that, because that will help you understand, little things about you. And you know me, I'm not a believer of like having to fix every little thing, but that could just be your little bit of a hold up. So um yeah, that's why I do feel like belief, there has to be a sense of belief when it comes to at least believing that you can manifest, right? Like having that belief that, you know what, anything is possible. So why not try it? Like that's how I look at it. You don't have to believe what you're saying, like what you're affirming, because again, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go back and forth with that. But there has to be a belief that, you know what, this is really fucking possible for me. This can actually work for me. With money, I feel like, you know what, that's one thing I'm working on now, because I feel like I have to work for money, and it's like I gotta shake that up. Alright, I'm gonna head out. I might come back on a little later, but we'll see. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna get some stuff done. So I will talk to you in a little. I'm sure we'll text. Bye.